Okay, so you're. It sounds as though, with all your training and things like that, that you don't mind having a look at alternative type of training techniques. And if, like me, you found that we have this wealth of knowledge sitting in front of us with these computers, it's made it easy to actually explore some different things that we may not have had access to previously.
Yeah, 100%. There is a lot of bullshit on the intranet and YouTube and whatnot, and there's plenty of self-help coaches and influencers that are talking absolute smack, and they're not practicing what they preach. But there's heaps of good info out there. There's heaps of good things you can try and learn, and at the click of a button, you can go on to Wim Hof. Well, 50 years ago, who was Wim Hof? Who you couldn't, if it wasn't in an encyclopedia, if they weren't in front of you, if they weren't on a world tour, you wouldn't know who they are. So, yeah, it's changed the game, obviously, and you can learn and develop so much faster. You can even learn martial arts techniques on the internet and stuff. It's not the same as learning it in person. And obviously, when you're doing it with your instructor or your trainer, your coach, whatever you may call them, they're going to pick up things that you can't pick up on the internet. But yeah, it's changed the game. The click of a button, you're in someone's lounge room, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, as you said, there's no substitute for actually body on body contact as well, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So speaking of body on body contact, how about we have a little chat about the Thailand trips that you've done? I know you've done a few with Zach and the Abaddon's boys. You've also done some with your family. You always try and get a train in, even if it's a family holiday.
Yeah, look, I love Thailand, and I've got to thank Zachary for my love for Thailand, and I've got to thank Zachary for a lot of things. He's like a big brother to me, and we fight a lot and argue and disagree, but he's a mentor, and I can always fall back on him. He's very, very good to me, even though he bashed me up when I was a young fella. He knocked some sense into me. He did. No, he's like I said, he's a big brother to me. But yeah, Thailand. Love Thailand. Love the weather to start with. You can't. It's just I love being hot. I love Tassie, but if I was going to leave, it'd be leaving because of the coldness. But yeah, I love the weather. People are great. They generally are happy kind of society, and yeah, whether I always try and get a train in, whether I'm there for on a training trip or there with my family. I think you can always make time to train. Like, if you're there for 10 days, I'm sure you can find 3 hours out of your time to go and, do an hour session. I don't understand when people say, oh no, I was too busy, or no, if that's what you love to do and that's what your passion is, why not do it? Like, people that they are quite into fitness, but then they go on a holiday and they don't do anything for 3 weeks. I think, well, one, you got to start from square one, and two, hey, I thought you enjoyed it. Like, I thought that's my ideal holiday, going and exercising. I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit different.
Yeah, it's probably not everybody's idea of the ideal holiday, but I'm sure there are a lot of people that it is. I think some people just kind of like the idea that they're exercising all the time without actually doing it sometimes,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but anyway, that's each to their own, of course. And
for sure.
The Asoki, or as Zach did point out to me, it is Asok fightwear.
Yep.
Hoping to look at different things for that. Zach said maybe some gloves and things like that down the track.
Yeah, so we've just been speaking to the people that do my website and do my filming and stuff. They're they're going to build Legion a new site actually. So we're going to have a new site. We're going to have gloves, apparel, and we're going to have, obviously you can buy your tickets there, and then we're also going to have the fights, links to the fights there as well. So it's kind of going to be like a one-stop shop for martial arts equipment and viewing in Tassie. So that should be up and running before the end of the year. I'm not sure exactly when, but yeah. So that's it's going to be awesome. Obviously, I've gone on Zach's trips, but Zach that's his venture, and that's his little baby. He loves that's his little niche, and which is great. But so we're hoping that moving forward, we're going to move forward as with Legion, with a brand as such. So we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Something like that's needed in Tassie as well, because there are a lot of martial arts type websites and things on the mainland, and everyone from here's got to buy stuff from there. So if we can get it through somewhere local, that'd be awesome. And your fitness collective stuff, JG Fit, you have apparel through your business and that, like workout clothing, stuff like that, do you, or will you? Or
look, with the JG Fit, we just get an order in every now and again with apparel. But fitness collective, hoping later on, or probably within the next 3 months, doing some apparel for everyone to buy. So whether it's t-shirts or singlets, it's exciting times. We're obviously everything. I'm not saying we're going to buy it from China, but everything that's happened with China pretty much shutting down, it's pretty much shut the rest of the world down. It's making everything more expensive too. Like the Australian dollars, because China deal with US dollar, so. And we're looking crap in the US dollar at the moment. So everything's like twice what it was last year and stuff like that. So I'm just waiting for everything to settle down, and all the pricing and stuff will hopefully all flatten out. And I was looking at getting some resistance bands, some custom resistance bands over, and to ship one box, to fly a box over, it was going to cost me $450. It was, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, and I think the stretch of water between here and Melbourne doesn't help us a whole lot either. But
it's another cost, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, we shipped a whole lot of mats there last year, and that was the most expensive stretch of water in the world. But anyway, that's how she goes, mate. Yeah. So, always going to be a Lonnie boy, mate. This is where you're staying, unless you move somewhere warmer, you said.
Yeah, look, I think Launceston's great. I don't understand these people that write it off or say that it's crap. It takes me 5 minutes to get to work. I can go and see any one of my family members within 10 minutes. It's got pretty much everything you need. It's a nice community. People are friendly. People know you. They're not ignoring you walking down the street. It's and the weather's mild. Like if you live in Melbourne or Sydney now, and every year you've got some kind of crazy flood or fire or risk. And I don't like the thought of being stuck in a traffic jam for 45 minutes just to get to work. That's just not me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah, no, it certainly is a good place. Now, Legion, we'll talk a bit about that. You've briefly touched on that. So Zach was saying we're probably not going to see a show this year with what's going on, but you never know, I guess. Maybe late. You guys haven't bought yourself Fight Island as yet. Dana hasn't thrown you an island or anything. Zach briefly said that maybe you might do something behind closed doors. Have you guys talked any further about that, or it's still just an idea that maybe not, or we're waiting for next year?
Oh, look, it's one of those things that's we were sitting pretty until that outbreak kind of happened on the northwest. And I think that's kind of set Tassie back. I'm not having to go at the person, but I think it's set Tassie back. Because at one stage there, it was looking like we were gonna be ahead of the country. We were gonna be able to, open up before everyone else, kind of thing. But it hasn't happened that way. I think the only thing that will probably hold us back is how many people you can have in one place. Whether crowds and whatnot. We could potentially live stream an event, but it's costly, and whether or not people would be interested is another thing. So look, I'm holding on. I'm holding on to late in the year. But if that's the case and it doesn't work in with other people, then might we go back for February? So. To be quite honest, I just take it week by week, day by day at the moment. And, when I was, with the PT stuff, you're trying to plan things ahead, and it was just changing every day. So it's the same with the Legion stuff. We'll just play it by ear. And, we surely want to. And I think people, if everyone was playing off the same level, like, the same level field as in, gyms are only been open back for a month, and everyone had been like that, I think people would probably be okay with that, and they just fight because they want to fight. Where if it's staged and some areas are open and some aren't, and I think that it might stuff it up, and we just have to wait till it's all back to normal, kind of thing.
Yeah, quite possibly. And what do you think about the current crop of fighters in Tassie? I guess firstly, we've got some very skilled guys coming through, and you guys bring a lot of mainland fighters over. What do you think about the Tassie guys at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's they're improving, that's for sure. They're up and coming. Funnily enough, a lot of our top level guys have walked themselves over to the mainland. So I think Chris Drummond's probably our most high-level all-round martial artist at the moment, getting around. But he's up in Sydney at the moment, just because he pretty much does it full-time. He's improved his boxing, his Muay Thai, and he's got a great wrestling and jiu-jitsu background as well. So. Then you got, Damon, who's, he's the warrior by name, warrior by nature. He'll just keep walking forward, and he's not, Damon, his talent is work rate and just pure heart. He's not the most technical guy, but he's athletic, but he's just he just move forward, and he's tough. He's a funny dude, and he's relaxed and he's easygoing, and but he's tough, man. He is seriously tough. And then you've got up and comers like Matt Branston, who's taking classes for us, and he's up and coming. He's got a whole lot of talent sitting there ready to go. He's just time's going to help him. Time and learning and understanding his craft and understanding his own game a bit. And then you got some good guys down south and on the northwest coast and stuff. And there's plenty of talent out there. And I think for a long time, the elite were the high level guys are up here, and if you just trained a little bit, you were down here. But now I think it's kind of like it's evening out kind of thing. And even people that just have one or two fights and then just keep training, their skill level's improving. And I think that's got a lot to do with the coaches too, and the experience and stuff. You can only learn what your coach teach you, and if they've only got a limited knowledge, well, you're only going to go to their level, kind of thing. And like I said, I've got a lot to thank for Zach and opening my eyes and teaching me a lot too. And he kind of helped step my career up. Which then helped me, go further as such. He gave me a great base, and I grew from there. So, there's a lot of talent out there, and there's a lot of scary jiu-jitsu people out there that, I just try and run away from.
Yeah, and they're a little bit quirky and crazy too, the jiu-jitsu people, let's face it.
Yeah.
Now, last year, I think it was last year, Dean started putting his productions together down in Hobart. I don't know where he's at with his stuff at the moment. I see he opened his own gym just before this, which was unfortunate timing. But do you think that's going to help promote the fight game in Tassie? Having another organisation doing some stuff?
Yeah, sure, done right, yeah, 100%. I just think that, like anything, you just got to work together and try and mould a plan moving forward together. It's obviously, when you're competitors, it's hard. Like you've got to compete, but you've also got to find a middle ground to move forward together. And look, I think it's great to develop the southern part of the state. They've got the biggest population. They should be skyrocketing with promotions and how it's going and stuff. And if he's going to put events on down there, I think it's only good for the sport. I look at moving forward. I hope we can work together and have some, we can
scheduling mainly, I guess.
Schedule, and so we can get the most out of the whole state, kind of thing. So he's having another kid, so I don't know how he's going to have time to do anything. To be quite honest, I have not enough time with 2 kids, so let alone 5. So and congrats to him. Good luck with all that. So. But it's moving forward. I hope we can all work together. And like I get on well with Hamish down from the All Styles as well, and he's a character. He's a.
I'm hoping to get him on the chat soon. So yeah.
He's a shit stirrer and a character, and he says it how it is, and he might offend some people, but at least you know where you stand with him, and he is trying to do things to grow the sport. He got Valentina down, and he did that combat week training weekend. He's trying to grow the sport, and I commend him for that. He gets in and he gets an idea and he just goes for it.
Yeah.
I commend him for that, and I like to do. A lot of people. He stirs them up, and he might rub them the wrong way, but I really like him, and I think he's good for the sport.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone that's out there having a crack, mate, for sure. So you went down and did a little bit of instructing at that fight camp, mate?
Yeah, I did. I went down and I did the Muay Thai session. It was good. It's just everyone teaches differently. Everyone puts their a little bit of them through their teaching. I hope people learn. It was because there was some high level guys, some beginners, and some people somewhere in the middle there. So you're teaching stuff somewhere in that middle there. So I hope people got something out of it, and you're just trying to break things down and trying to explain things as best as I could, so people get something out of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's always hard when you have both ends of that scale. Now, you mentioned earlier that you're working in security for a fair time. I'm sure you would have seen some interesting stuff over that time. But if, like me, from my period of time doing that sort of thing many years ago, it's more about the camaraderie and the people that you work with in that sort of field, because you're backing each other up. You're relying on them to keep you safe. Is that the same with you?
Yeah. So I started working security when I was 18. I worked at Lloyd's, and it was. It was eye-opening to me, and it was eye-opening seeing what the other side of it's like, because I was a bit of a loose young lad on the other end of it, and made plenty of mistakes myself. So and you're getting to know your teammates pretty much. It's one in, all in kind of thing. You've got to back each other up, and Even when you think, oh shit, this guy's huge, or how are we going to deal with this? You just got to get in and get it done. And then I worked at the casino for 7 years. Worked up there with Zach and a few of the other guys from the gym. And obviously, so we had almost double camaraderie because we trained together, we worked together, we socialised outside work together. So we were a very tight-knit group. But yeah, once again, working up there, a lot more people skills came into it. You know, you had to know how to communicate with people. And 1 minute you're talking to an 80-year-old lady, having a bit of a joke, you know, explaining something. The next thing you know, it's kicked off, and you're dragging some young punk through the casino, and it can look messy up there. But there's the problem with that place is, you know, if you might have to remove someone from 200 meters away from a door, or 100 meters away from the door. So it's always going to look messy. Where if you're working in a pub and you're on a pub door, one, you're probably already outside, or you've got like 10 meters to move someone. So it's less room for error kind of thing. So
yeah. And so how about I ask you something just off the cuff, something that people may not know about you perhaps. Where did you meet your wife?
I met my wife through mutual friends. At the time, my very best mate, Mr. Avery, we've been best mates for a lot of years. He was going out with Sarah's best friend. So, and she'd just recently gone through a breakup, and I'm of this opinion that all the good girls get snapped up quickly. Okay, if they're so you got to get in there, and I'd eyed her off for a long time, and been waiting in the shadows, as you could say. And as soon as she came on the market, I was very quickly to get in there, and did my very best to not impress her, but somehow she stuck around, and she's a great woman, and I'm very lucky to have. She's been very supportive of me over the years, and we're lucky to own businesses and stuff together now and work together, which sometimes is very hard. But yeah, she's a good mum, and she's a good woman, and easy to get on with, because sometimes I'm not. So.
Surely not. Don't believe it. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so if I was to ask Sarah, what's the one thing that's most difficult about you, what would she say?
She'd say that I can be a perfectionist, and sometimes, things can't be done right, and I am a bit obsessive compulsive with that kind of thing. And there's the amount of times that I've said, oh, this isn't right, or that isn't right. She just roll her eyes at me. I wouldn't say I have obsessive compulsive, but I'm very particular. I like things done a certain way, and she's not. She doesn't care.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Very good. And in the industry that you're in, it's probably not a bad balance to have a bit of both in your businesses. So that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Well, we're pretty close to wrapping up, I reckon, mate. Is there anything that you want to add, or anything you want to get out there to someone that might be listening?
No. Look, mate. It's a lot of people talk about mental health and stuff like that, and I'm a bit advocate for that. And I'm a positive person, and from the outside, things look good. And to be quite honest, I have a good life, and I'm very lucky. But we all struggle, so don't look at someone like me and think that I don't have my own struggles, I don't have my own battles. Everyone's fighting demons, and you just got to sing out. You've got to sing out when you're down or you're out, or sometimes you just need to talk to someone and get it off your chest, and you go, oh, I feel better now. That was silly. I was building it up in my mind or whatever, and don't be afraid to talk. It ain't weak to speak, as they say. So yeah, we're all in it together.
Problem shared is a problem halved, mate. All that sort of thing.
It.
Yeah, no, that's a great message, buddy. And I think through your fitness work, exercising, training, that sort of thing, it goes a long way to helping people's mental health. So you're doing a very good service in that respect. And, you know, I would say if you haven't checked out Jake's stuff online, jump on Facey. You'll find the links there. Give his page a like. Check out the websites. And if you've got that spare half hour a day or a couple of times a week or whatever it is, jump on and do the workouts with him, because he knows what he's talking about. Thank you very much for your time today, Jake. It's been awesome to catch up. Hopefully we can catch up face-to-face soon, and keep doing what you're doing, mate, because you're doing a great job.
Thanks, Kat. I appreciate you having me on, and I think you're doing a great thing. So, yeah, keep it up.
Cool. Cheers, mate. We'll catch you soon.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.